With the sixth pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Daniel Jones, quarterback.
Okay.
Duke.
So they do love a quarterback, and it's the kid from Duke. Daniel Jones is coming to New York, and obviously they know what it's like to get a Cutcliffe-type product in their house. Obviously, Cutcliffe is a Manning family teacher in a way, obviously, and Cutcliffe is sending Daniel Jones to the pros as the 6th overall pick in the draft.
I thought David Gettleman tipped his hand a little bit today when he said, he was asked about the important traits in a quarterback, and he said they have to be able to adjust to adversity, and he said not many quarterbacks in this draft have faced adversity on the field. When you're playing at Duke, Daniel Jones did not play with a player that's been drafted in the NFL during his time as a starter. He was not surrounded by all the talent. He got beat up. He's faced that adversity. I think that was a big deal to Dave Gettleman.
Well, and I think when you look at these quarterbacks too. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, look.
It's Thursday night, and here we are, Big Blue Beards. Can you change my mind? The Daniel Jones debate edition. I am Mayhem. Big Smooth is in the house. Monty and
How we doing?
Joining us later. It's snowing. So it's November, it's snowing, it's football weather outside. It's not going to be 6 feet like in Buffalo, but it's snowing.
Yeah, that's wild. Did you hear that breaking news? They're moving that game to Detroit to be played indoors.
Breaking
news. What's the matter? You can't play in 6 foot of snow?
I know.
Pansy.
I know. I don't know what the problem is. It's crazy.
I'm excited for tonight. We're gonna have a special guest. I don't know if Sarge mentioned it. I think he did in the intro. Monty's running a little late. No worries. That's the one beautiful thing about having a triumvirate here. We can start the show, and even if 2 of us didn't show up, I'd have Monty. If I had to break away, I think Monty can handle it, or Sarge can handle it.
This is live TV, kids. Live TV. I am sending Monty the link to the StreamYard as we speak.
There we go.
You gotta
We're
love
live.
it. You gotta love it.
I love the intro. And my initial reaction to it is it took me back to that day. I was not happy with the Daniel Jones pick as the quarterback pick, because full disclosure, I live down here. I live 40 minutes away from Duke's campus. I hear everything that goes on with Duke Carolina from a football, basketball perspective. And I heard all the good things, all the intangibles that Gettleman fell in love with. But I also heard exactly what Mike Mayock said, which was this guy has not played against elite talent and has never had an elite receiver, never had an elite person. So you can spin that one way or the other. Like you can spin that as he has faced adversity and that's where we're going. Like we think we can develop him, and once we get weapons around him. But that's where initially, and I'm not going to tip my hand for tonight, but I do feel going back to that day, that's the exact emotion was trepidation. Like, oh shit, I think we just made a mistake. Mostly because I know everything there is to know about Duke football just from by proxy by living here. And Duke football is exactly a powerhouse.
Yeah.
What say you?
So, in all honesty, back then, I was a casual football fan. I don't watch as much college football as I do now. I'm not as well schooled in the draft prospects then as I am now. And I took one look at him and I'm like, wow, they just got a younger Eli. This is awesome. Eli's been so good for us. So they just went out and got like Eli 2.0. And it's like he's a goofy dude and he's just out there and I'm like, all right, awesome. Here we go. We got Eli 2.0. We're gonna get more Super Bowls and None of that has happened.
Yeah. It's an interesting place to be with this guy. I think, and you'll get into the stats of this, and you got a whole sheet for us. I think we don't need to worry about stats as much when it comes to. I heard a great debate on Twitter earlier this week, which is kind of rare. I think the entertainer was talking about, have we kind of fantasy football, ified the NFL? Like, do we care if a guy has the 300 yards passing, 4 touchdown game? And it's one of those things where it doesn't to say that you can't win without that type of player is, I think, a misnomer. And I think Dan Orlovsky had a great piece on it too on NFL Live about how running teams are trending up and the yards per attempt have dropped. It's the lowest since 2012 for every team in the NFL, not just, the elite teams or whatnot. But I don't know. So I'm still kind of in that place where if I got a good deal, I would sign him. But if we're talking some of the all or nothing stuff, it doesn't mesh with me.
All right,
but we got a couple.
While you're taking a breath here, I'm gonna pop Monty.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's going on, guys? Sorry, some Madden.
What's going on, Monty? No, trust me, dude. It's live, man. What else are we gonna do? And also, our special guest just popped in too. We got this maniac on short notice. Nicky Snacks! Oh, man. How are we doing?
What's up, gentlemen?
I'm sorry, the perfectly rational football fan, Nicky Snacks.
Thank you. That's much, much better said, and I couldn't agree more. I feel a little light in the face.
Underdressed.
I can't lie. I got a little baby face going on. I can't really compete with these beards going, but
I might be able to
I
help
don't
you
listen
out
to
with that
No Shave November. But
yeah, I might be able to help
Are
you out.
Are you
with
doing
that,
No Shave November?
No.
No.
I grew a beard that looks like shit. I look like more of a leprechaun than I already did.
Okay. Well, that was the question is it more just like, hey, I just can't grow one, or are you not a fan?
Well, I can grow one. I can. I know, shocking. I know. But I'm just not a fan. I was never a big facial hair guy, but I'm always so lazy to shave, and when I do, I look a little less shitty. So, but thank you guys for having me on. A little less shitty. That's all. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm very pumped to be here.
Welcome to the show, man. I have to
very
get something right
excited
out of the
to
way with Snacks. I got to get something right out of the way. One of our new fans, as we see, we've almost quadrupled our viewers for the evening. Just so you know, we only had one last time. We're flying. So I got sent this by a Giants fan who was like super loved the content we were putting out. It's a original Giants starter jacket. Do you know? There's a question, and Nicky, you can if you know this, I'm be very impressed. Where did Starter develop their jackets? Where's the initial plant, and where is the headquarters at Starter? And it says it on the jacket, like established in, and you'll know exactly where I'm going with this as to why this city is important. What's your guess?
Well, Starter. I'm gonna guess somewhere on the East Coast.
Yep.
Is it my beloved New Jersey?
No, it's my beloved New Haven, Connecticut.
The better people capital, Snacks.
I walked right into that one.
You did. And I love it because you're the first person I thought of when I fucking opened this thing up, because I had no idea. I've lived there before, and I was like,
you didn't
holy
know.
shit.
Yeah.
I almost sent a screenshot and sent it to you.
All right. Well, I will say, it's a gorgeous jacket. My grandfather I still have my grandfather's. It's all beaten up and disgusting now, but they're so beautiful. And New Haven, I'll give them credit. They don't have title of best pizza in the USA, but having Starter is pretty elite. So I'll give it to you. I'll give it to New Haven. They finally get a point in my book. Finally.
Thank you. Hey, we can
Monty.
debate. We can do a pizza debate another time. We're here for another reason.
I'll wait for it. Wait for it. You tell me when.
Perfect. Love it. All right, boys. Let's dive into this. Monty, what was your initial thoughts? We played the Daniel Jones like draft intro. Like he got drafted. It's Rich Eisen and Mike Mayock talking about the pick. What was your initial reaction in that day, 2019? Or I guess it was 2019.
I was in college. I was watching with one of my buddies, or I was in my college town still. I was graduated at that point, but I was watching with one of my buddies who was still living there, and he was a fucking Washington fan. And the pick happened. I collapsed and just put like my hands ahead, and then he was just sitting there dancing on my grave for like 5 minutes. And he got Dwayne Haskins, so rest in peace. But fuck him. My friend, not Haskins.
That guy, not Haskins.
Oh, hold on.
That's good
Rest
clarification.
in peace, but fuck that guy.
Yes, they did.
Love it.
Jeez, man.
What about you, Nicky?
So I was actually at the draft in Nashville, and I was at a bar, and the second, I was the only one in the bar, which is kind of crazy because you're at the draft, you have all these different fans wearing all different jerseys, literally all 32 teams represented in some way. But the bar we were at, it was me and maybe like 2 other Giants fans. I was wearing my Eli jersey. They picked Daniel Jones. I put my head down on the bar. Next thing I know, everybody's laughing at me. They're all booing me, laughing. I was just like, this is my hell. This is my hell. I was dumbfounded. I genuinely, there was all the smoke that Daniel was going to be the pick, but I just thought when Josh Allen fell there, I was like, this is a home run. They're just going to run up and draft him, especially since we had the 17th pick.
Yeah. Like, I believed at 17. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Right. Exactly. And I thought, I was like, all right, if you have one of these guys that fall like a Josh Allen, that seemed impossible because the Raiders do what the Raiders do and pick Clelin Ferrell. Like, this is perfect. You need a pass rusher desperately. How are you not going to take Josh Allen? You got another pick at 17. If anything, you trade up a little bit for Daniel, and I would have been okay with it. And sure enough, they drafted Daniel Jones. So I was devastated, and well, I guess we'll talk a little bit more. But fast forward to today and different conversation.
Absolutely. Sarge, you want to hit us with some numbers, man? I know you're itching at it. I think you got some numbers as to why we would keep Daniel and numbers that he's kind of performing on this year.
It's the weather in Miami.
What was that?
Do we have a frozen Sarge?
Right. So it's not. I'm not going crazy with the stats because we all know that. Okay.
But,
so yeah, I'm having some issues with the internet just because of the weather. So yeah. So
it's okay.
Here's the thing. Stats. Okay. I didn't go nuts because I'm not really a stat guy. So I did take a look at some like cross-sectional stats as far as Daniel Jones goes. We're just talking about progression, right? So back in 2019, 20 receptions, 60 there I go. All right. 2020, touchdown numbers went down. Interception went down slightly. 10 and 3 fumbles. Last year, it was 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 2 fumbles. This year, right now, is 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Okay? So what are the things that people talk about with Daniel Jones? Okay? They talk about the turnover. Well, we've kind of fixed that problem, you know? They talk about the fact that he can't win games because not everything is perfect around him. Well, we're 7-2 right now. And we're 7-2 with Daniel, not in spite of him. Okay? Because we're talking about fourth quarter comebacks. He's got 5 this year. Okay?
5 this year.
It's okay to. I'm also trying to process something here real quick because I added some stuff. I had to fix something. So I'm having a little multi multitasking. So
I think
I'm done
Sarge
with all
is
that.
breaking up pretty bad.
all right, so but that's about it, man. That's basically it.
Okay.
Better now. I'm trying to multitask, so I had to fix my presentation. I
Don't
have a
worry, Sarge. I
presentation
can't walk and
for
chew
all of
gum,
you.
so
Oh. I have a shitty computer and shitty internet right now because it's snowing. So
It's all
Oh.
good.
there we go. All right, but that's about it. I mean,
So-
did you guys catch? I mean, like, legitimately, the touchdowns have gone down. Okay, I understand that because let's face it, Joe Judge and Jason Garrett were afraid of touchdowns. Okay, so, but he's playing clean football. He's not turning the ball over. And let's face it, the 2 interceptions that he has right now are kind of bogus. One was when
David,
it was
David
I think
Sills
a Hail Mary right before halftime. And then the other one is the David Sills. He slips and Diggs basically picks that ball up off the ground. You know, I mean, it's not like they're real turnovers.
I was at that game too when they were showing it on the jumbotron. I for sure thought that hit the ground, but regardless, whatever. Monty's Lord and Savior David Sills falls down, leading to an easy interception. So I will forever hate Monty for that, forever. But Sarge, to your point, and he was, I mean, his rookie year, yeah, he kind of lit it up, 24 touchdowns, and they were throwing the ball in that Pat Shermer offense, but all of the fumbles were just brutal. And there has been plenty of guys or quarterbacks that have had fumbling problems like that and fixed it, but it just seemed because of everybody hating the draft pick that, I mean, I'll blame myself. Nobody gave him a shot to get that all corrected. And to his credit, it has come down an unbelievable amount. So the proclamation that Jones was a turnover machine, while, yeah, warranted, and that was fair, the fact that he's worked so hard and where he is now, 2 turnovers all year through 9 games, that's pretty damn impressive. Mm-hmm. So to his credit with that, they may not be throwing the ball as much, maybe not be dropping back as much. Okay, fair point. But he's not making stupid decisions costing the team points or losing us games. So credit to him and his progression from 19 to present day.
And he looks like a totally different QB.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. Go ahead, Monty. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks like a totally different QB. I mean, in the good ways and the bad ways. I mean, when he was coming into the league, he was turning the ball over, he was fumbling, he was throwing interceptions, but he's pushing the ball down the field and he was getting touchdowns and getting yards. He's definitely gone into more of a game manager, but I mean, we don't have weapons for him, so it's hard to say what he could be. Could he bring it all together and show where he's cut down in these turnovers and he's not fumbling the ball, which was his biggest problem his rookie year? Could he put it all together? We just haven't seen it all at once. I mean, he's playing good football. He's a good football player though this year. I mean, he's given me some Alex Smith vibe, but in like the best way, like playoff Alex Smith.
Yeah, I think that's a terrific comparison. I easily see Alex Smith, but with more upside. So yeah. I think he's got a better arm. I think he's more athletic and run the ball better. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with that comparison. That is what he is right now as a game manager, and that's totally fine. You're winning football games. They got a great ground game. His number 1 receiver was a 4th round rookie tight end before he got hurt. So that tells you all you need to know about what this offense can do, or what they can't do with legitimate practice squad wide receivers on the outside and inside. So again, you were relying on a 5'7" slot receiver, a rookie from Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson. That's just not going to do it. So I agree with the game manager, but I do think there's a lot. There's plenty of potential to open that up with better weapons and a little bit, maybe a little bit better protection in this offensive system.
Yeah, and I'm gonna jump in on
a lot of people
that same exact. What term?
No, go ahead, Smooth. Go ahead. Your thought.
No, I was gonna say okay, so I've heard this a lot too, and one of the people that I think said it first was Chris Long. about how the Giants kind of remind him of the Titans with Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at that really quick. I don't have a fancy presentation. We got one of those for later. But what I'm going to tell you is with the Titans, Ryan Tannehill's stats were 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Who was his number one receiver that year? Do you remember? Fucking AJ Brown. Okay?
Yeah,
so you got AJ Brown. You got AJ Brown, who's now a stud in Philly. Then the next year they added Robert Woods, I believe, this year, and like he's been hurt, so his numbers aren't great. It's like 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill went into a situation where, yeah, he had a great offensive line, great running back, sounds similar, right? Conservative play action pass, tight ends, a lot of 12 personnel. But the difference is Ryan Tannehill has had a number one receiver every single year that he's been in Tennessee, whether you think that receiver is elite or not. Also, this year they drafted Traylon Burks, number one. The game's on over here on an iPad. He just got a 50-yard pass off a play action. We don't have a number 5 receiver that you could consider an X or a split end right now. We just don't. You just made a great comment how a 4th-round rookie tight end was their best receiver going into last week. Is Wandell going to continue to get better? But he was also supposed to be a piece, a slot piece. He wasn't supposed to be an outside receiver. You know, we thought we were going to get Kenny Golladay back. We thought, potentially there might have been some guys that could develop. You know, like I don't know what the plan was, but the plan is we don't have that right now. We just don't have the receivers, the weapons. We have pillars on the offensive line. We got a great running back. We have tight ends. I mean, shit. We're like throwing Chris Myrick, who caught a touchdown last year in that game against the Eagles, that basically with his thighs. Like, this is who we're fucking dealing with right now, guys.
They signed Isaiah Hodgins, and he's got like half as many. He's got half the amount of yards as our number one. It's crazy in one game and 2 catches. It's nuts. So
it's insane, and it also no. Your point's well taken. It's just it bothers me that people are like, he's not the guy. It's like, how the fuck would you know? Like, you have no fucking clue if the guy could really actually ball if he had. Give me Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and let me throw a 2-yard out, and then it turns into a 70-yard touchdown, and then we'll see what Daniel Jones's numbers are. I just want one of those guys. I don't need 2.
I just saw someone in the chat say, so if you put Jones in the Dolphins or the Chiefs with all of these weapons, they get worse. I don't know if that's entirely true.
No,
I don't know if that's true at all.
I'm gonna put that up there to my man Sherlock Holmes. Do you know? I'm gonna talk to him directly. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to this dude directly, bro. If they had who Tua has as weapons, Daniel Jones would have the best quarterback rating in the NFL because he throws one of the best deep balls in the entire league. Play action would be unstoppable, and then he'd be able to do whatever the fuck he wants. And then if you were like, bro, this guy sucks, he throws picks, he's not elite, cool, get rid of him. But he doesn't even have that opportunity. You can't just say shit and then that be true. It's just not. It's just not true.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a totally different offense. Tua is very much just short game, accurate passes, but that dude cannot throw a vertical concept worth shit. He underthrows every single vertical pass he attempts. So, but he's real good on the intermediate, crossers and slants and stuff like that. So it's different.
Tyreek Hill would love to catch deep passes from Daniel Jones.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so would we. So would we all. But
to
say that either one of those teams gets worse with Daniel Jones is, that's it's ill-informed.
And especially that Dolphins one. Mahomes is in a different shot, obviously, yes. But I think with the coaching and Kelsey and Juju and the weapons and the line, they'd be just fine. To say the Dolphins get worse, replacing Tua with that one I struggle to agree with.
See the logic?
Very, very much, yeah. I don't get that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some offenses that they can have like the Dolphins where they have a good quarterback, but maybe not an elite one, and they run a great offense through it because they're a great scheme and great weapons. And then there's other offenses where they can trade a Tyreek Hill like the Chiefs, and they can keep moving and keep being one of the top offensive league because they have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Daniel Jones is that, but I do think he could be even with the right weapons. But all it depends how we want to approach it. I don't know what Joe Shane is ultimately going to want to do, but I do think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback.
Yeah, I would truly like to see Shane. And it's, of course, a miserable free agent wide receiver class, which I don't think he would make too big of a splurge on a wide receiver, big cash anyway.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a style, but I would like to see them improve the offensive line and weapons and let Kafka and Dable unleash Daniel a little bit. He's not like an incompetent passer. Smooth, like you were saying, he throws one of the best deep balls in football, or at most accurate deep balls in football. And these two offensive coaches, Dable and Kafka, want to throw the ball. You think they're like going home and partying because they won a game running the ball 40 times? I doubt it. They know this is NFL in 2022, and while the run game has had a rebirth this year, you're still going to win games throwing it, and I know they want to open it up. So I would like to see Daniel with better weapons and better interior protection and opening the system of Kafka and Dable up a lot more. But that's just me.
I honestly think if you were to get Daniel a wide receiver like Jalen Hyatt from the Volunteers, he would take the top off of his offense. That's a guy who can make things happen down the field.
Yeah,
somebody like that. Yeah, and it's the thing. You don't have to splurge on wide receivers in free agency. You get maybe one, maybe a veteran linebacker, and then you build through the draft. I mean, here we are. We're sitting on 9, possibly 11 draft picks again this year, and we have a lot more money to deal with in the salary cap. We're sitting in a good spot, and I trust, look at the guys we're bringing in now. We're bringing in bargain basement practice squad players, and these guys are producing for us. That goes to talent evaluation and coaching.
Correct.
2 things that we haven't had in New York for quite some time.
Yep, Sarge, that's a great point. And I think Duggan had wrote it in The Athletic maybe earlier this week or late last week that pro personnel people never really get credit, like especially from fans. Like we're on Twitter and you listen to guys on SportsCenter and Fox Sports or anything like that, director of player personnel and the pro personnel guys don't get enough credit ever. And what they're doing with this, like identifying waiver wire guys and signing guys to practice squads, they're all making impacts. So, Sarge, I think that's a great point too. Just the pro personnel side and just an unbelievable testament to the coaches putting them in the right spot.
Just to interrupt real quick, because I really want to see Snacks' reaction to this. Snacks, did you see this? I don't know if you can see this, but Aaron Judge just won MVP.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. All rise, baby.
All rise, baby.
Well deserved. If I swear to God, if they gave it to that fucking Otani, I would have killed somebody.
Me too.
Oh my God. Aaron Judge, good for you. Now get that deal with the Yankees and kill Brian. Oh, I shouldn't say that on.
No, hey, we're just starting out. Let's not get us canceled.
You could probably say it now. Don't say it later when we're rolling.
We only have 5-6 people in here, so
I did stop myself. I did stop myself.
Proud of you.
I didn't say the name. I don't think. No, let's talk about something else.
No.
Congrats, Aaron. Congrats, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? So we've already established the fact that Daniel is very, like, the fan base is very divisive over Daniel. Okay.
That's putting it lightly.
You love him or you hate him, the truthers, the deniers. But we here at Big Blue Beards have done some extensive research, and we think we found exactly what Daniel Jones is missing. Okay? See if this works. All right. So, here's our boy Daniel. What does this guy need to get over the hump? We think we figured it out. Danny needs a beard.
Look at that.
There it is.
Danny needs a
Look at
beard.
that beauty.
And he needs some kind of life up here. We need a little bit of swagger in Daniel.
That's a
Danny needs a
franchise
little
quarterback.
bit of swagger. Okay? Okay, typical Daniel. Press conferences. This is probably a training camp. Okay? Just goofy ass haircut. Let's give him a fade. Light him up.
Franchise
Do
QB.
something
Yeah,
up top,
baby.
Danny.
He went
got
to
it,
a,
you
he
got
went to a
it, you know what?
barbershop.
Little barbershop. You know, he's chopping it up with the boys. You know, give him a fade. Give him something. Get rid of the haircut. Maybe
That
grow
beard.
a beard.
I
a
can't
fade,
get behind that
you
one.
know? Yeah, I got one for you.
Behind
I
this?
got one for you. You can't get behind this. Can you get behind this?
Oh my god.
My daughter saw this and she goes, you know, he kind of looks like Charles Manson. I'm like, hey, Manson almost got married in prison. Kids were writing Manson letters all the time.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
I mean, I can deal with the little.
Get out.
We give him the Odell. The Odell.
Odell?
Maybe
Give him
the
the
Odell.
Odell. You better put like a spray tan on him too. Like make him orange.
All right. So here we go.
There we go, right there.
This is our guy. This is the guy we want under center. This is the guy we want throwing passes to Darius Slayton downfield. That's the quarterback. This is the guy.
That looks like
You know?
Green Bay's next quarterback.
I know. Hey, who knows? You never know. You know, give a little bounce up top. You know,
The
Little
high school
volume.
senior quarterback flop.
Yeah.
the high
Little
school senior
pullover.
quarterback. Yeah. Or
Disney
can we
original
go
movie.
bam to the Charles Manson?
Oh my god. I'm never gonna be able to unsee these.
All right. Well, you know what? This is why I was breaking up before, because I had to add one more.
Ooh,
Throw a beard on
baby.
Snacks, baby.
There it is.
Throw a beard on Snacks.
Oh my god. Now
There
you
you
see
go.
why I shave.
Now you fit. Now you fit in.
You know what?
Okay.
I like that.
Can you
I like
Can you
it.
put that back up? Is there any way you can put that back up of Snacks?
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Snacks looks like coming soon, Braveheart 2. We must have freedom once again.
Shit.
Love that. And by the way, we're clipping this.
Now I feel welcome.
Yeah.
You
There we
do.
go.
This is perfect.
Oh shit.
All right. I love that, dude. That was awesome.
Well worth the
Thank you for
freezing.
coming to my TED Talk.
That was good stuff.
Honestly, where this all came from, we started all talking in the chat, all the bearded guys, okay? And I was like, listen, I know what's wrong with this guy. He exudes a lot of like cornball, like,
Oh yeah.
it's not fake humbleness. Like he's truly this guy. Like he doesn't have but he showed even today on like the mic'd up part when he was in Houston, and he's got a little juice, man. Like he just doesn't show it to anybody. And
Are you with Easter?
yes, but I was like,
I
I mean, give these fans something that they can kind of latch onto. I was like, give them a fade, give them a beard. I was like, whatever, and that's where Sarge like took it and ran with it. That was awesome.
That was great.
But a part of me does feel that way. Like if he was cooler, all the people would be on board, being like, well, he's dropped his turnovers, we're winning, because that's all I said. At the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't even want to bring him back because I don't want to hear this bullshit anymore. I'm just done. Like, fucking cut him now. Start fresh. But now that we're winning, why do we care so much? Like, they're gonna fucking make a decision at the end of the year, one way or the other. My thing is, let this kid play it out and then see what happens. I mean, would you guys sign up for an extension if we won the Super Bowl the size of Russell Wilson's? I would. I don't fucking care. Give him $1 billion. If we win the Super Bowl this year,
Yeah,
fuck
if
do we
we
care?
win the Super Bowl, we wouldn't win the Super Bowl without a lot of help from his arm. So yeah, that means
Yeah.
he would have been.
It means he turned it on in the postseason, probably.
Right, exactly. Yep.
But let me ask you this question real quick, and then we can go to any topic anybody wants. I don't care. But if we won a Super Bowl in a similar fashion of how we're winning, we're just living a charmed existence this year. Okay, he's throwing 2 touchdowns and 200 yards almost every game, maybe a pick randomly every 5th game, and we run that formula all the way to the playoffs and run the table. And it's a timely play here and there where he's clutch that wins us a Super Bowl. Like, do we care that he only had 20 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in a season and only 3,000 yards passing? Like, does that matter? It doesn't.
It does to the fantasy
can we just see
football guy.
what happens? Like, there's a reason why they're doing this, because Monty's best friend David Sills can't fucking catch a pass.
Fuck you, Monty. No, if we ran the ball 35 times a game and kept winning and it won us a Super Bowl, no, I don't give a shit if he throws 1 touchdown the rest of the year.
Exactly.
It really, like, it doesn't matter. To me, the people that hate Jones, I don't think are ever going to like him, and people that like him now are never going to shy away from it because of, he's playing really well. Me, I'll flip flop. I'll probably hate him on Sunday, but
Me too.
right
Me too.
now I like him. So
He's consistent, though.
it's just how it is. But how he finishes, to me, I'm not gonna put an expectation of what I want to see in how he finishes or not. I want him to continue playing as well as he is now, not turning the ball over. We're gonna start being down in games, and we're gonna have to start throwing it eventually because the competition is about to get a lot tougher. So I think we're gonna see a lot of what he's made out of over the course of the second half of the season. And I know that this team is going to improve in the offseason. And you're looking around, I don't know what options are going to be. We're probably going to be picking early to mid-20s. There ain't no free agent quarterbacks. You can transition tag them, or maybe they do it too. I don't know. I do know I trust Shane and Dable and their vision and what they see, and I'm not going to be mad at any decision. But the way DJ's going, I think it's only going to go up from here. So I am – oh, my God, from 2019 getting booed in a bar in Nashville to thinking that Daniel Jones is going to be my quarterback for the next 2-3 years. Unbelievable. But anyway, yes, I'm all for it. I would like to see – let's see how the season plays out. We got people talking about our quarterback next year. That's not Daniel Jones. Not mentioning any names, but I digress. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out.
So my thing is this. I've been hearing a lot lately about how you can't win consistently late in the year by running the ball. Well, guess what, guys? We're playing the Northeast. It's cold. It's going to snow. We're going to be in Washington. We're going to be in Philly. We're going to be we're playing outside half the time anyway. We're going to run the ball. And when you get hit and you keep getting hit by our offensive line and Saquon Barkley and all of this other stuff, that stuff hurts. You get hit when it's cold, you can feel that shit in your bones. And 4 quarters of that, man, getting punched in the face constantly by Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal and all of our 1,800 offensive linemen because we run the jumbo rhino package where we have 17 offensive linemen, and Danny just kind of hands the ball off to Saquon, or he runs it himself. We are coming. We're coming, man, and we're coming with like a whole row of human snowplows, and we're just going to push you down the field. We're going to run the ball until somebody can stop us. Only one team has been able to do that so far, and we see them in a week. Now, I'm not looking forward to Dallas because, I'm tired of hearing the term trap game. That's another thing. Don't get me started. We think it's a trap game because we, as fans, can overlook the Lions and go straight to Dallas on Thursday.
It's a quick turnaround.
Players, the coaches, they're not doing that. They're planning for Detroit. And once the Detroit game is over, then they're going to start planning for Dallas. We, in our stupid fan brains, are talking about like, well, you can't do this and you can't do that because we got Dallas in 4 days after the Detroit game. We can think like that because we have the luxury. The coaching staff and the players aren't doing that.
They better not be.
They're not.
I know.
I've been
just
listening
busting
to
your balls.
interviews and like most guys don't even know who they're playing in 2 weeks. They don't look ahead. They're like, we're worried about Detroit.
I'm a little worried about Detroit. What about you guys?
I'm not worried about Detroit.
I do worry about that offense. Their offense explosive, and their offensive line is really good.
Yeah,
Their defense stinks though. So
I have more stats.
More stats.
Okay. We want to talk about Detroit. Good, because I wanted to finish the show by talking about Detroit. All right. Week 1. Detroit held Philly to 0 points in the fourth quarter. Still lost by 3. No good. They beat Washington week 2, and they only scored 14 points in the entire second half. Okay? These are all really close games, by the way. Let's see. Week 3, they shut out the Vikings in the first and third quarters, and then got shut out in the fourth quarter themselves and lost by 4 points. Week 4, I don't remember who they played, but they lost by 3 points. Week 5, they got shut out by the Bailey Zappi-led Patriots. Week 6 was the bye. Week 7 was the Cowboy game where they only scored 6 points and got shut out the entire second half.
Okay.
They got shut out in the second half by the Dolphins. Week 9, they beat Green Bay 15-9. And then week 10, they beat the Bears by 1 point. And they scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and one of those was a pick 6 from Justin Fields. So there is a reason why Detroit scores a lot of points. Their offense scores a lot of points because their defense can't stop anybody.
No,
and the teams that they play predominantly throw the football. So they're throwing downfield on this weak-ass Detroit defense. They're scoring in relatively short succession and then turning the ball back over to Detroit, who then moves down the field as well and scores points. However, we don't play that way. We'll keep you around and then drag you into the deep end in the fourth quarter and see if you can swim. We maintain long drives. We play smash mouth football. We will run the ball down Detroit's throat and keep Jared Goff on the sideline.
And that's the blueprint, and I fully agree. And our strength can counteract their strength of going up and down the field. I get that. While we're 7-2, I don't think we're not the 1986 Giants. You know, we couldn't put our foot on the Texans' throat. We kept it. We let them hang around. And Houston's a much worse team than Detroit. So while I'm with you, we are a better team, and our strength should absolutely counteract theirs. That's a good point. Keep them off the field. We're going to run the ball. Part of me is a little worried about the offense, the explosive offense. That's what I got on. Anything else, I'm a little – I mean, their coach bites kneecaps off. That's a little worrisome. But outside of that, you're right. I get it. I worry about our ability to close the door when we have our chances, kind of like the Texans game.
I think Monty's muted.
I realized I was on mute. My bad.
What are we in a Zoom meeting in your office? The fuck's going on?
I was pulling up the YouTube. I didn't want it to blare over the mic, but regardless, it's going to come down to Wink too, because like Snack said, this defense is explosive, and Wink's going to bring the house on him. And can Jared Goff handle that and still make these big plays downfield? I don't know if he can, but I mean, if he can, it's going to open up more chances for explosive plays, which they've been good at. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to get into a shootout with the Lions. I don't think a shootout would be good for us. But if like Sarge said, if we can keep running the ball and keep the game close and if we could blitz them and stop them from making big plays and make them make mistakes, I think we'll be in good shape. But yeah, I'm not taking Detroit lightly.
So
yeah,
Jared Goff has also been sacked 15 times this year so far, and has thrown 7 interceptions. The guy likes to turn the ball over.
Yeah, I don't
We can
disagree on
capitalize
any
that.
points about the Lions in terms of their, it's kind of like sometimes perception kind of leads to what people think, right? So the Lions have some flashy players like DeAndre Swift, and even Jamal Williams is a good running back, and their offensive line is very good. I think at the first two games of the season, there was an article written that they were getting 5 yards of like separation before someone was even touched. Like that's how much push that offensive line was doing. So they're a handful, but they're talented, but they're undisciplined. It reminds me of the Jaguars. Look, the Jaguars are a super talented team, but they have, I think Peterson's a decent coach. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles from gross. But at the same time, look, you got to give him a little credit. Dan Campbell's not a good coach. He's a good motivator. They got a bunch of guys in that team that are playing with heart. They're just not talented at positions that are glaring, right? Their defense, their back end, their linebackers, they got Malcolm Rodriguez. He's a good linebacker. But outside of that, you can pass on them. You get to the second level, you can definitely run on them. They don't tackle well like the Texans, but they got guys who can make plays. So, like, great example with the Texans is that kid Jalen Petre is going to be an incredible safety, but he made a big missed tackle, and Slayton had a 54-yard touchdown. Great job by Daniel, and that led to a big play by the Giants. So we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to stay true to who we are. I had no problem watching the Commanders, run 47 times on the Eagles and literally ran almost the same play, I think, 7 times in a row, where they brought that tight end down. Yep. And just everything was a trap. Everything was over right guard. And they just got 6-7 yards every single play. If we do that to the Lions and we either beat them by 7 or 77, again, don't give a shit. Win me the game, get to 8-2. Let me yell at my wife during the Super Bowl, who's a Cowboys, or during the Thanksgiving for her being a Cowboys fan, and tell her to make me my turkey on Thanksgiving. Let's fucking go.
That's good.
I'm telling you.
It's a 4:25 game too. It's unbelievable how tough that is. I feel so bad for my family. So bad.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
God.
I'm apologizing to your family for you.
Wait, which one's the 425 game is the Thanksgiving game, right? We
yes. Yeah. So we're the middle game. Yep.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, that's gonna be a war. In my
I'm gonna FaceTime you at like halftime.
They're gonna have to lock.
I'm gonna go live at halftime and invite Snacks on.
Just to watch your wife dunk your face.
You'll see the veins in my. It's ugly. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
So I saw the Barstool video, Snacks. Was that last year?
Yeah.
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 Talk to us.
That's
you
when
don't sit down during the game.
No, I don't. I stand in front of my TV the whole game outside of halftime, where I sit down. I collect my thoughts.
And then put them all down on a note. I've seen those.
Correct. Yes, I do a lot of writing and a lot of thinking, and sometimes my words are a little bit extraordinary, a little harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I
know. I've proofread some of your work.
That is true. That is true.
No, Smooth. I don't know if you saw this, but Snacks wrote a letter as a season ticket holder. Wrote a letter to John Mara last year.
I did see that.
I think it was after the Meaty and Pepsi thing?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was after the Meaty and Pepsi thing, and I kind of let me take a look at that, and I'll give you some notes.
Yep, and it was a big help because as you saw, my grammar is not great. My attention to detail is not great. I can move around. Well, the thing is
you write with a lot of passion.
Yeah,
and passion is good as long as it's pointed in the right way at the right people. So
yeah, I struggle.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So last year, you got a medium Pepsi. Next year, we're getting new turf. What are your thoughts on that?
I saw that today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's exciting.
It's exciting, man.
The old Giant Stadium AstroTurf. Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
I don't know about that, But
Pull from warehouse.
The AstroTurf does look so cool, though. Anyway, go ahead.
no, I think Julian Love is spearheading that because he's the team rep for the NFLPA, and they just announced today that the MetLife group is they're going to be exploring changing the turf. So we'll hopefully get that sorted out.
Yeah, you know what? The way our IR looks every year, I'm surprised they haven't done this long ago. So,
yeah,
there had to be. You know what though? Like I was thinking about it. There had to be some kind of like alternative things. It had probably zero to do with the injuries as to why.
No, it's just something to blame. It's just something to blame.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like behind the scenes bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of like it's not has nothing to do with like each individual team, the Jets and the Giants. There is a like MetLife Stadium group that kind of handles everything that goes on with the stadium. Because the Jets and the Giants aren't the only ones who play there. There's a bunch of other different kind of sports teams that are all kind of pushing for this change. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But according to what I saw today, we're looking at something in the offseason where they're going to tear everything up and put something else down, and we'll see how that works.
Yeah, we had a question. I'm going to put it up in the chat. It was like, do you think it'll be real grass? And I think the sentiment was they'll do either real grass, or they'll do like the newer turf that is like less. It's more forgiving on the joints, and like there's more give, and like I think
sort of like approved
hybrid.
Yeah. So
to answer that question, but yeah, hey, I just got a really great question for you guys. I just pulled up Twitter, and this is from Art Stapleton. This is from our buddy. Okay, so we'll have to tweet Art on this because I don't want to take credit for this question. It's a great one. There's been a lot of talk about like Twitter headquarters and like how it's not going to exist or whatever, and like Twitter's going to shut down. And he said, if Twitter is the Titanic, tell me the one account you're allowing on your virtual doorframe as we float into the abyss. It's a great question.
Wow.
Let's go around the room. I want to hear from Monty.
Man, I'm gonna have to fucking get Schefter's little ass on there with me because I don't know where I'm gonna be without him telling me the news. And he won't take up much room on there, so I'll get his little ass on there, and he can keep me updated.
Oh God, that's a good one.
That is a guy. I am stumped here.
Take your time. Go. What do you got, Sarge? Anything?
So mine is a non-sports related one, and now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen him tweet in a little while, but it's an account called Nihilist Arby's. It's probably one of the funniest Twitter accounts I've ever seen, and it's basically like life is a dismal, like such and such, eat Arby's, and at the very end of all the tweets, it's eat Arby's. So Nihilist Arby's is probably one of my favorites.
You got anything for me, Snacks?
This is like the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. The Schefter one was a good one because I would like to be plugged in to the NFL at all times. But I can say Rappaport, but he's a dweeb.
He's a douche.
He is a douche.
Big laser, baby.
God,
he's small too.
Am I gonna? Can I say nobody?
Let them all fucking drown.
You let them all drown. No. It's smooth. If you got one, I'm gonna.
It's like, oh, there's not enough room.
Okay.
Get off.
I got you. Snacks knows this about me. I'm a golf fan, so I don't want any specific golfer with me, but I don't know if you guys know who these guys are, and if we can get one of these guys or some of them on the podcast someday, that would be awesome. The guys at Country Club Adjacent would be my pick. If you don't know who they are, they're the comedians who basically roast people.
That's a good pick.
They roast people on the tee and they make them back off, like the back off challenge. I want to do that someday. Like, I want Snacks to be there with me to fucking do that. Like, just we'll go to like a random fucking public golf course and just walk up to people and be like, just make fun of what they're wearing, anything just to fuck with them. It would be great. It's better than like the air horn shit. With
I was just going to say, like, the air horn's so fucked up. Yeah. This is funny.
Yeah. It's hysterical.
That's
and like they sign up for it because they're at a tournament, but those guys are hysterical. I love it. They're comedians. I was an aspiring comedian at one point in my life, so I relate to that. Absolutely.
That is a good one. I'm a little jealous that, I appreciate that one. All right. I'm going to, there's a little bit of everything here. There's golf, there's football. I find him to be, all right. I don't know how big a Barstool fans you guys are. There's a lot of things on there that I just think is so stupid and could care less about. But I happen to think PFT is one of the funniest people in the world. And he can make light out of anything and spin it in such a funny way. And his like awful grammar on purpose that whole shtick cracks me up, his spelling. So I'll let PFT stay on board with me. He truly cracks me up. And he knows what's going on and everything. He tweets about everything. So all right, PFT could stay. I was gonna say Big Cat, but I think PFT's funnier. So
PFT's just better at Twitter. They're both hilarious.
Right. Yes, correct. He's so much better at Twitter.
That's a good one.
I agree.
I like that one.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
It was tough.
All right, man. We're about it, just about an hour. Are we time to wrap up? Before we wrap up,
let's get
one more thing. One more thing. We want score predictions for the game. Monty, go.
Exactly.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to keep saying it until we do it. I'm going to say we're going to break 30 points. I'm going to say 31-24 Giants.
Wow. Tell you what, that would be an exciting game.
Would be fun. I'll be there. I'm going to rip it up in the tailgate with you, Snacks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you're not welcome. You're not welcome.
All right, I'll go L7.
You've been dodging, ducking, dipping, diving from me all fucking year. Now you think you're just all of a sudden welcome? No, not how it goes. No. You want to pay me $50? You're welcome.
All right, I'll pay the cover fee.
I'm just kidding. I'll see you then, Monty. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Don't you dare wear that fucking Sills jersey.
Fine.
Gonna burn it.
Don't you dare.
Fine.
Well, now you have to
you
wear it.
always do. I feel bad. You could wear it.
Dude,
I'm crazy. I'm crazy, but I'm a nice guy.
It's too cold. You're not going to see it anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's true.
Anyway.
That's why you wear it on the outside of the hoodie.
I was just going to say, like, it's very visible. Anyway, good. That's fine. 28-7 Lions. Now, I'm going to go true. I'm going to say I don't think we quite hit 30, but I do think we're going to hit 27 and win 27-23.
All right. Smooth.
Yeah, I'm not going to I want to be pleasantly surprised with if they do score 30 points at all this year in a game. So I'm going 24-16, identical score to the Texans.
Oh, look at that.
Giants.
Love it.
What you got, Sarge?
New York Giants 32. Because fuck it, we're just gonna throw the ball over the yard. 32. Lions 23.
Is that
okay.
Scorigami?
Scorigami.
Scorigami?
It's like one up me both ways. I did 31 24s. It's a little bit.
It's there. It's there. Wow. All right. So we got 2 30-point scores. Well, if there's a
They're
God,
gonna have to do it at least once this year, and it might as well be this week.
It's probably the last week they'll have a chance to. So I think this is it. This is it.
Baby versus fucking Jeff Saturday.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Well, listen, guys, this is awesome. Snacks, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys. I'm so happy I was able to do it. Sarge, you got to did you tell him? I was bugging out last night because usually Thursday is my.
I didn't tell him. So I get a message from Snacks like a couple minutes before I'm trying to think because now I have to do math. I have to subtract time.
Probably like 7:30.
7:30, so it's 5:30 for me. And he's like, I'm rushing out of here, and I'm trying to this. I might be a couple minutes late, but please don't wait for me. And I'm like, Snacks, it's tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. This show's on Thursday. You're good. He's like, oh my God. Oh, I felt so bad.
I literally.
This is going to be good. If he's like this amped 24 hours ahead of time, this is going to be good stuff.
I thought the whole day was Thursday. And Thursday, smooth. I think Thursday is like my worst day, and my latest night, and it sucks.
Gotcha.
I hate Thursday, and it's usually, but I work in healthcare. My conference got, I guess, moved to yesterday, and that went later, and I was freaking out because I thought it was Thursday just because I was there all night. And that's why I messaged Sarge. I was like, dude, don't wait for me. I'm gonna hop in as soon as I get there. And he like quickly answers me, goes, dude, it's tomorrow. I was like,
yeah,
what a fucking idiot. I'm losing my mind.
I'm walking into the liquor store going, what? It's tomorrow.
Damn. Well, I'm glad as shit that it worked out. I really appreciate you guys having me on. And next time I do come on, I'm gonna make sure I got something here.
You're gonna have to grow a beard for the playoffs, Smooth.
That is true. That is true. I will.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I will.
Yeah, this beard ain't going anywhere. Last time I messed around with it, my wife was like, "You're really pushing your luck. I don't want to see that face. I just don't want to actually see what you look like anymore." But hey, listen, I just want to say to anybody that was in the chat or anybody that watched us live, tell your friends, like, subscribe. We're going to do this every Thursday. We're pretty fluid on the time, between 7 and 8. What are you going to do? Watch Thursday Night Football? Come fucking hang out with us. Let's go. Appreciate Snacks. Love you guys. Go Big Blue.